Hey everyone, beginning of August, July's just finished. We want to see what the numbers are because it's going to be an interesting one, so let's dig in. Here we are at the start of August, looking back at July. If you've not hit that subscribe, the bell, all the good stuff that's going to tell you exactly when we do new videos, go ahead and do that now. And we want to look at some numbers because it's my favorite thing. We love the numbers. It's the accountant in me. I mean, it is what it is. But we want to see exactly how July did, not only compared to last month, but also last year. So let's start with the biggest thing, which is the volume. How many sales did we do right here in Halifax area, HRM, for the month of July? Well, we hit 362, down over a third, well, more or less a third from last month, because last month was 513. So we're down like 30%. Now, the key thing when we look at month compared to previous month is, but what about last year? Like, let's compare in theory, like with like. July last year was 431, so we're even down 16% on the same month just last year. Now, we know that July tends to be a little bit quieter because people are more concerned with what are we doing with kids now they're out of school? What are we doing for summer? Do we need to kind of enjoy the sunshine instead of looking at real estate? So a little bit of that has taken place. But when we get down to the numbers of only 360 sales and down 30% and down 16%, it's quite a big change in terms of what we've got. So now we want to look at, well, how many active listings have we got? And it's odd. Like, it's 661 this month, 664 last month, 660 this time last year. They're all about the same number. I mean, like, what's the possibilities of that happening? So yeah, we're down a little bit on last year. We're down 3 houses that are active for sale on last month. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Months of inventory, we are at 1.8. Last month, that was 1.3. Last year, 1.5. So you can see that if we're keeping the same level of active houses for sale, but the stuff we're selling is going down, then clearly we are putting more months of inventory. But 1.8 months is still a huge lack of inventory. So don't make any surprising changes in the fact you think like, oh, it's a buyer's market and off we go. No, it's not. There are things that are changing in the market, definitely, and we'll touch on those later. But it's not even close to being a balanced or even a buyer's market, because balance starts at 5 months. Seller's market is obviously 5 months or less. 7 months, 7 is buyers. 1.8. We're way off that number. When we look at number of days on market, this is another good indicator that kind of tells a little bit of a similar story in the fact that things are taking a little bit longer to sell. Definitely the way that we're seeing the market right now, properties are sticking around longer. We're at 27 days this month, 24 last month, 19 last year. So you can see that we're starting to take a little bit longer to get the houses sold. And from offers that we've written over the last month, we can definitely see that we're writing offers on properties that have kind of stuck around a bit. And what we're also seeing, so from the seller's point of view, we're also seeing when properties come on the market, you've got to be careful, because when you get above like-ish the 550 kind of number, they seem to be hanging around a little bit longer, probably down to interest rate changes, but also down to the fact that the hottest price bracket is that 400 to 500 range. That's where basically everybody is trying to buy houses in that price range. So if you're more than that, then you are likely to stick around a little bit longer. But so long as your marketing is solid, so long as your price is good, so long as you're getting people through the door, carry on. After about 20 days, I would strongly suggest you need to look at pricing to see what's going on there. So talking of pricing, average price, $605,593. Let's call it 605.5. Last month, 597. So we're up 1% on that. Last year, 558. So we're up 9%. So when we look at days on market going up, inventory going up, sales volume going down, but the average price is kind of creeping up there. And there are a few reasons for that this month, definitely. But if you look at that, we're up like 9% on last year. it kind of is started to tell you a story that, maybe we've kind of peaked out a little bit too much with some of the prices. Now, having said that, sale to list price is 101.4%. So on average, $8,000 over asking price, because asking average was $597 and a little bit, $1,000. So when you look at that, it's like, okay, prices are up, but also we're still going on average over asking price. And again, it's about the same. About 50% of houses were going over asking and about 50% of the sales were going under asking price. But in terms of the average, and we'll pick on one specific market here because it was a big average price point, South End Halifax only had 11 sales, but of the 11, 9 of them were over $1 million. And the average price of the things that sold in the South End was $1.6 million. Now listed was 1.7, so like 96% sale to list price there. But you look at that average being so far up there, that's absolutely pulling, in some extent, the average in total up there. Yes, there was only 11 sales, so on average, does it affect it that much? Not necessarily, but 1.6 million as an average, where it's been kind of more around the 1 million, is going to have an effect for sure. So that's what's happening on that numbers. Sales to new listings. We always like to look at this because this gives us a real feel for like, okay, if we are sales to listing less than 100%, you're basically taking inventory off the market. So when we look at the sales this month, 362, new listings that were put on the market was only 446. So we're 81% sales to new listings. Last month, that was 95. Last year, that was 57. So last year, we did 761 new listings to the market. This year, only 446. So we're still struggling with new listings coming onto the market, which has kind of been the story for roughly 3 and a bit years. And it feels like it's not going to get any easier. So for buyers, the advice for you guys is this is kind of the market we're going to be in. And it feels like this for the next year to maybe even a year and a half. There are definitely some new developments coming on stream. Just in my area of Fall River, there's a new area because we hear the jackhammers going pretty much, as well as the sirens for the explosions. So there's definitely a lot of stuff going on around my area in Fall River for new subdivision. They did just release, I think, 3 of the facsimile designs for split entries, and they are starting at $750,000. 2,400 square foot, no landscaping, no driveway, starting at 750. So even then, you kind of look at that number and go, that's on a high end. That's the stuff that's going to take a little bit longer to sell. So, we're still not putting the right kind of houses on the market in the right price bracket that's really going to add some inventory into these numbers that we're looking at here. So, get into some detail. Let's have a look at specific markets. Number 1 market was Timberlake, Prospect, St. Margaret's Bay, Upper Tantallon. Their average price point for a sale was just over $590,000, roughly 1.3% over asking price is what people were getting. 41 days on market, so sticking around a bit longer, but 42 homes for sold, 72 for sale, 1.7 months of inventory. Market number 2, back up to East Hants, Colchester West, which is Elmsdale, Enfield, Lance. Average price point there up quite substantially this month, $523,000. Little bit of a discount there, 99.2% sale to list price. 31 days on market, 34 homes sold, 88 available, 2.6 months. So 31 days on market, 2.6 months of inventory. Definitely starting to build up a little bit of inventory in that particular area. It's just interesting when you look at a $523,000 average selling price up there. That's like not really something that we would expect in that area. They tend to be more in the just under 5s, like 450 to 500. So definitely something going on there. Number 3, we are at Bedford. 27 home sales, 66 available, 2.4 months again. 26 days on market, $735,000 average sale price, but 98.3% sale to list price. So you can see that Bedford seems to be coming off the boil a little bit. There was a couple of new builds in there, but not that many this time. So I think when you get the new builds, the average price point in Bedford definitely starts to increase. So those are all the stats. Now, okay, we'll cover off number 4 because it was like one sale behind Bedford, which was Lower Sackville. Back in that area again, $485,000 average price point, 14 days on market, 26 sales, only 10 homes available in the whole of Lower Sackville, 0.4 months of inventory. So still a silly hot market in Sackville, but it's down to the average price point. You know, you kind of get underneath that 500 and that's where all the activity is. So if you're in Lower Sackville and you're a seller, it's time to think about moving. Like, you've got no inventory. So if you put your house on the market in Lower Sackville, you're probably going to sell it fairly quick. So there's the stats. That's everything we know for the month of July. Here at the beginning of August, getting this out to you as quick as possible because you want to be in the know, you want to be educated, and you want to make sure you know exactly how our market is performing.